Hello, Eagles, and thank you so much, Chef Jayla. Thank you all for joining us today. Today we have Chef Jayla, who began her operations for her cooking firm called Epic Cuisines Cooking. Her inspiration to be a chef with an expertise in health and nutrition came from witnessing poor health conditions of loved ones and friends from her community. Her approach to healthy cooking caught the attention of a Houston sports team, and in 2008, Chef Jayla was awarded the position of Executive Sports for the Houston Dash women's soccer team. In addition, Chef Jayla also serves as a chef consultant for the Houston Texans, where she provides meal plans for select players. Chef Jayla is also degreed in communications, certified in food and health management, ServSafe management, and obtained her nutritional certification from the American Fitness Professional and Associations. Her culinary skills are accredited to the Art Institutions of Houston, where she completed her culinary degree as an honor student and continues to support the culinary programs as an alumni. Now, Chef Jayla uses cooking as her voice to encourage individuals to eat for the health of it. Please welcome Chef Jayla.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you all can join me. My hopes are that you all are in your kitchen because the goal is for this to be as interactive as possible. The first thing that I want to address is to let you all know is that as I go through this presentation, if you have any questions or if you missed something, just please put it in the chat. I have it up in front of me so that I can see it and I will address it. Again, I really want this to be interactive. I hope that you all are in your kitchens and that you have your ingredients. And I think we have just about 11 people so far. And if you could, to kind of go ahead and get this started, the first 10 minutes is supposed to be around prep time. So what I would like for you all to do is kind of give me a thumbs up and let me know if you are actually cooking right now, or if you're just kind of taking notes and watching, because that will kind of direct where we go from here. Because if you're actually cooking, then we do need to go through the ingredients list and we need to go ahead and prepare and do some of the prepping before we start turning the heat on. So if I can just get you all that's on here to give me a yay or nay if you're actually cooking with me tonight in the chat. So just respond in the chat for me. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I am doing a class, and a good thing I did kind of prep ahead of time. So this will be done within 20-25 minutes time frame for the most part, because we do not have to go through the ingredient list or through the prep station, because most of you all are observing and taking notes. The idea for today's course is to prepare a meal within 30 minutes. A lot of us are busy with school, most of us work, whatever the case may be. And the last thing that you want to do when you get home is spend an hour or more in the kitchen, one, trying to decide what will you eat, two, trying to decide or going through the process of the drainage process of prepping, cooking, and then waiting for the meal to be done. And before you know it, it's 9 o'clock and it's very, very late. We're going to alleviate all that. So what I've done is I have a couple of a book that I call my 30 minutes and under recipes. These recipes are designed to give you a well-rounded meal, 30 minutes or less, which will, for today's particular class, we're going to do a low carb. Low carb does not mean that you're not going to have any carb. It just means that the particular meal is going to be low. Okay, so where will you find your carbs in today's meal? You will find them in your broccoli. If you choose the option to go with your cauliflower rice, inside the cauliflower rice, you will have about 29 grams of carbs there, in the broccoli about 10 grams. Or you can do pair this particular meal up with some zucchini noodles. So we'll talk about that at the end, like different ways that you can pair this up. to where you're not using a starchy carb, but you are still gonna have a carb impact. Okay, so going down the ingredient list, we needed a pound of chicken. And just to kind of rewind real quick, this particular meal was to serve 4 people. If you are single and it's just you, a student, you can actually take this meal and you can divide it. You can take, use half for lunch, half for dinner within 2 days, or you can spread it over the course of the week and have it for dinner and lunch kind of in a rotation throughout the course of the week. Okay, so that's some ideas that you can do with this one particular meal in its serving size. So when you talk about a pound of chicken, what does that look like? Basically, it's 2 breasts, about this size, each one of them being a half pound each. What I did was I went ahead and I cut the chicken into about one inch pieces that you'll see here. And I've already went ahead and kind of seasoned mine because I like mine to marinate and have some flavor in there. So I've already seasoned it with salt and pepper here. Okay. Next, I went ahead and I did my broccoli. I sliced my mushrooms. I've minced fresh garlic, and I've also minced fresh ginger. This right here, guys, this is where that help for the health of it comes in at. This right here is my health plate, and this is what's going to really, really bring more flavor to this particular meal when you're using simple ingredients like just salt and pepper for seasoning. Okay, I have my oil here, and I also have, to kind of make sure that I stay within that 30 minutes time frame, I have all of the utensils and things that I need right here in front of me so that I'm not all over the place kind of looking for things. To the left of me, I have the remainder of my ingredients that I'll use as we get ready to go through this, but we're ready to kind of dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn my fire on, get some heat going. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of oil here and let that get nice and warm. And then we're going to actually start off with sauteing my vegetables. What I like to do is okay, so different people like their vegetables different ways. Me, myself, I prefer a crisp vegetable. I know a lot of people in my family, they don't like that kind of a texture, so they would prefer a more soft vegetable. And so with the broccoli, there's a way to do it. If you follow the instruction sheet and you just kind of toss it in the oil at the end result for that particular process, you're gonna have a crisp vegetable. If you want it to be a little bit more tender, what I advise you to do is when you're getting ready to rinse your broccoli, rinse it in hot water for about 2 minutes, okay? Rinse it in very hot water, 2 minutes, rinse it, and you'll see the color of it start to change to a very, very bright and beautiful green, okay? You'll pull it, and then you'll be ready to saute it. Okay, so my oil is hot. I'm gonna go ahead and put my broccoli in. And I'm gonna kind of toss that around a little bit, okay, before I put in the mushrooms, because you're supposed to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes, okay? So you're gonna go ahead, give that a toss. Now with my mushrooms, me particularly, I don't like any of my vegetables overcooked. Like I said, I'm all about the health. So I want to get as much of the health aspect as I can, and that means you're not going to overcook your vegetables, okay? All right, so we've had the broccoli in now for under a minute, and that's good. I'm going to go ahead and toss in my mushroom. And if you look at the ingredient list again, this is for a serving of 4. So I use 2 cups of broccoli and 1 cup of mushroom for this particular ingredient, for this particular recipe. Okay, so we got all of our vegetables in now. And we're just gonna give it a nice toss. And this process is gonna take about 2 or 3 minutes, not very long. Just wanna get them tender, because you got to keep in mind that you're gonna saute this now, then you're gonna pull it out, you're gonna begin the process of the chicken, And then you're gonna mix it all together. You're still gonna have some little heat that you're gonna put on it. Real simple, real quick recipe. And it's very delicious. Can't go wrong with chicken and broccoli. I also failed to mention mushrooms are not for everyone. So if it's not your thing, you absolutely can skip the mushrooms. You can add in any other vegetables that you may like. It can be bell peppers, onion. Remember, it's kind of a stir fry. So use which vegetables suit you. Some people prefer carrots over mushrooms. They have like your broccoli and your carrots. You can use, be creative, what you like. Okay. So we got them sauteing. I've already, like I said, I've already minced my ginger and my garlic. And if you look at the instructions list, that's next to go inside of the skillet. And that right there, I love ginger, I love garlic. These are two things I can actually cook by themselves well, me personally. So just gonna give it a nice toss. And I'm gonna show you, so here you see the mushroom is kind of getting a little brown, tender. That's exactly what you, okay? Broccoli has a nice color, and I'm smelling the ginger. Okay? All right. So that's done the time that I needed for here. I'm actually gonna put it back on this pan. I'm gonna scoop it in there. Okay. I'm gonna take my skillet. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to it. And then we're gonna put the chicken right in there. I'm using a non-stick pot. So because of that, I don't have anything that's kind of sticking or anything. So there's no reason to wipe the pan before adding the chicken. And even if I wasn't, because I like the flavor of the ginger and the garlic that was in there, I would still leave those tidbits pieces in there, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken. I'm actually gonna do a little under what was recommended. Because I'm just doing a perfect size. So instead of doing a full pound, I'm actually doing a half. That's on the chicken. Everything else I use. I'm gonna turn my fire down because I don't want my chicken fat, okay? I want it to always fresh. I don't want it to fast where it dry out and I remember these are like one. So I'm gonna let these brown. While they're browning, I'm gonna go ahead and in my sauce wheel. Okay, so for the sauces, I'm gonna use oyster sauce, chicken broth. I need 1/4 of each one of these, and I'm gonna combine them. So I got 1/4 chicken broth, 1/4 of my oyster. Remember, I lowered the temperature on the chicken so that it could get a nice brown texture without overcooking. One-fourth of the oyster sauce. That's there. I'm gonna use only a teaspoon of the sesame oil. It goes a long way, trust me. Okay. And 1 teaspoon of either soy sauce or a soy sauce substitute. In my case, I'm using a coconut milk, just because of my preference low sodium when it comes low sodium. Okay. Okay. And this is really, really smelling good. I'm going to take my whisk here and mix these ingredients together. I'm going to just kind of set this aside for now. I'm going to go back, check on my chicken. Flip it over a little bit. Again, remember, when I cut mine up, I had already added salt and the pepper. I want to make sure all of your pieces cook all the way through. Okay. Okay, so a substitute for the oyster sauce, honestly, is not really, I would say use the, not really a substitute for that one, but you can alleviate it altogether. So it's not necessarily needed. You can just use the soy sauce and coconut milk as your 2 brown sauce, okay? So if oyster sauce isn't your thing, you can alleviate it altogether. It won't hurt the dish. As long as you got the sesame all in there, that's really where that flavor is going to come from. That makes it kind of like an authentic flavor. Okay. I'm going to give my chicken about another 2 minutes. And what's going to happen is after I finish browning it, I'm going to add all the vegetables back in. And then I'm going to take the mixture that I just did, and I'm going to pour that into. And then to thicken it up, I'm going to add a little bit of cold water with cornstarch. And I'm only going to use a teaspoon of it. I'm going to go ahead and prepare that now. Get that. You can just use a fork, mix it up together. This is going to be the last thing that goes in. Again, this right here is kind of like making a gravy. Going to stuff that sauce so that you can make sure that all that flavor holds. Sauce or combinations together with. My chicken is nice and brown. Nice and brown. Not overcooked. That means that it's still going to be juicy. Okay, don't want dried out chicken. I'm going to go ahead and begin to add my vegetables back in here. If you guys notice how fast this is, I mean, if you actually wanted to do this meal, it wouldn't take any time at all. All over pack of chicken, 1 pound, get your vegetables. You can buy your mushrooms already spiced, so save time there. This is one of the recipes that I do for the dash. They're kind of like on the go, and I know they have to catch a flight. Girls absolutely love it. Of course, we don't do a low carb with them because they're athletes. So we'll go with either brown rice or a jasmine rice with them. Okay. So let that cook a few more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. I'm gonna add it in. And I want this kind of even out, so I'm gonna put it all around the dish. And I really wish you guys were cooking this with me, because when I tell you the aroma in this room right now is wow. I'm gonna turn my heat up a little bit. Because I want the sauce that I just poured in to thicken just a little bit before I add in the cornstarch mixture. Again, this is cooking in under 30 minutes or less. For those of you who are busy on the go, just want to come home to a home meal where you're getting a lot of fresh ingredients. Can't go wrong with fresh ginger and fresh garlic, trust me. And even if it's not your thing, please try it. Once you cook it in here, the flavor is there, but you can't really, it's kind of like tasting something, but you don't know what it is, and it's just good to you. Unless you're allergic to it, I say go ahead and follow the instructions. Okay, we're at 625. I'm gonna let this cook for about a good 2 minutes on a high heat. If you use the technique that I was talking about with the broccoli and the hot water for rinsing, you'll have a very, very good texture on your broccoli by the time this is. Good. Okay, so for the mushrooms, you can substitute it with another vegetable. You can do carrots, you can do cauliflower, you can do, like I said earlier, I personally, if I was gonna substitute anything, I would love red bell pepper. So I would do red bell peppers and kind of, whichever vegetable you prefer, basically. Feeling good, guys. All right, so the last step here. I'm gonna add the cornstarch and water. And again, that is just thickening up thickening it up and giving it more of a gravy type texture. I'm actually gonna turn my fire off. Okay, so we talk about options for a low carb. And the recipe that I have recommends cauliflower rice. I know there are a lot of people that's not a fan of the cauliflower rice for one reason or the other. So I brought 2 additional substitutes, as well as to all let you know that you can use a jasmine brown rice or either a jasmine white rice. I would just use a portion controlled size to keep with the theme of a low carb. I personally like to use kind of like a chow mein. So I would use the zucchini noodles as a substitute for rice, or you can use quinoa. okay? All of these still have a carb substance to it. It's just very, very low, and it won't be heavy on your stomach for when you're eating after 6, basically, okay? You don't want anything that's too heavy. So these are some great substitute options. Like I said, I'm gonna use the zucchini. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and we're ready to actually plate, and it is about 2 minutes to 6:30. So, and yes, for me, I'm gonna eat, these are raw for me. You can actually take them if you would like, get a little bit of oil in another pan and toss it for about a minute or 2 if you would prefer. I'm gonna move this out the way. I'm gonna place this here evenly around the pot. Do my plating. Now this is more than a serving size, but guys, here it is. Less than 30 minutes, a full course meal that includes your protein, your vegetables, and a carb substitute, okay? You'll have a full meal. You can use this, like I say, the serving size is for 4 people. You could take this, it could be dinner for tonight as well as lunch tomorrow. And you have a very, very quick meal that didn't take a lot of time. And it's kind of like once you know the ingredients, you don't even think about it. You just kind of throw it together like I did here tonight, and you go on about your business. Anyone have any questions? Okay, so I would love to come back and do another course where we all actually participated, because it would actually kind of go a little bit longer and be more interactive if I had you guys like really in here cooking with me, and you would see how much more fun that would be to go through each of the steps yourself and just really see how quick and easy this is. So like I say, here we are, our meal done in under 30 minutes.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Chef Jayla, for that wonderful cooking demonstration. I especially enjoyed the tips on the chicken textures, the sauteing, and the broccoli, because I always end up with brown, overboiled broccoli. So this was definitely a learning experience for me. And thank you so much to our HCC Eagles for joining us today as well. I just want to remind you all that you can find today's complete recipe on the Student Life page, which I will leave in the comment section. And I also want to leave the link to Epic Cuisine's Chef Jayla's cooking firm, where you can find healthy meal tips and information on her services. Chef Jayla, you mentioned about a cooking book that you had. I'm not sure if you have information for that. If you want to leave it in the link or email it over to me, I can try to see if there's any way we can provide that information for the students. Okay. So once again, thank you all. Let me put in the links in the comments right here.
I will be sure to do that. And again, it's about cooking in 30 minutes or less, and I'll share more recipes with you all. Okay?
Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much. May you all have a wonderful rest of the night. And Chef Jayla, enjoy your night. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right. You all do the same. Thank you for having me. All right.